Are you silently burning your most valuable asset? Millions of ambitious people are losing fortune every day because of one seemingly harmless habit. A 100-year-old Zen master whispered to me the secret of the ruin fire that 99% of hot-tempered individuals ignore. This isn't about money. It's about the mindset that dictates your entire life.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling some really challenging source material, drawing from ancient wisdom, actually.
We are, and it starts with this incredibly provocative claim, something that really pushes back against how we often think about success today.
Which is?
The greater the temper, the less the fortune.
Okay, that definitely grabs your attention.
Yeah.
So we're digging into Buddhist philosophy here, exploring this link between anger and, well, fortune.
Exactly. But it's not just about money, it's deeper. It's about a kind of spiritual accounting. Our sources talk about fortune as more of an energetic resource.
Ah, okay. So this is where the concept of Fu Bao comes in.
Precisely, Fu Bao. It's essentially your accumulated life blessings, your spiritual capital, if you will.
Right.
And the core idea we're exploring is how explosive anger, that real temper, acts as a direct drain on that capital, a sometimes catastrophic drain.
Okay, so let's trace this back. Where does this specific wisdom come from in our sources?
Well, the main thread is a personal account. It's from someone described as like a high-flying executive.
Wow.
Super stressed, very successful by modern standards.
Until they weren't.
Exactly. They hit rock bottom, lost a huge project, apparently just went off on their team, their family. Total meltdown.
Been there. Well, maybe not that bad.
Maybe not. But this person was desperate. They ended up seeking guidance at this ancient retreat, Songhizai, and there they met a centenarian monk named Zhi Jing.
And what did this 100-year-old monk have to say?
His teaching was apparently very direct, almost blunt. He said, anger peak key is, Mandarin is basically the fastest way to self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage, how?
It's the quickest way to, quote, exhaust one's Fu Bao, to just burn through those life blessings.
So Fu Bao, this spiritual capital,
Hmm.
How does that work? Do we earn it? Or are we born with it?
It's kind of both, actually. The idea is you start with a certain amount, maybe based on past merit, accumulating virtue, GG, they call it. It's like the total fund of blessings and good fortune you get to enjoy in life. It's finite, but, and this is the crucial bit, you can increase it with good deeds,
Right.
but you can also spend it recklessly. And every time you lose your temper, hurt someone, create resentment, you're basically making a huge withdrawal from that spiritual bank account. And it's non-refundable.
Wow. Okay. And the monk had a story to illustrate this, right? This Chen Bao Sheng.
Yeah, a really powerful cautionary tale, Chen Baosheng. He was like the classic successful merchant. Smart, worked hard, built a real fortune early on, shops, properties, land. Had it all, by most standards.
Always a but.
There was a massive flaw, his temper. It wasn't just getting annoyed. He would, the text says, thunderdaffaliting, just explosive.
But who?
Everyone, staff, customers, his wife, even his own kids. There's this one specific example given. His young son accidentally broke an expensive vase.
Yeah.
Shen Baosheng apparently struck the child hard enough to leave bruises. And then when his wife tried to step in, he just yelled at her too. He used his power, his wealth, to basically inject fear into every single relationship.
That's awful. And the sources link this directly to his fortune declining. Not just bad business, but this Fu Bao drain.
That's the key connection they make. It goes beyond just, bad karma. The monk explained it as a kind of spiritual backlash. His anger wasn't just creating bad feelings. It was actively generating resentment, Yuan Qi, in the people he hurt.
Like a negative energy?
Exactly. And this accumulated resentment wasn't passive. It became this force that started to backlash Fan Shi against him. He was literally surrounded by this negative energy that he himself created.
And the consequences.
Total devastation. It cascaded. Business dried up. Old customers left. Staff couldn't take it anymore and quit.
Understandable.
His wife got severely ill, apparently from the constant stress, and it got so toxic at home that both his sons just ran away, left him totally alone with his collapsing life.
It's interesting, though. The source mentions that even when things were falling apart, he didn't initially accept this explanation.
Not at all. He was completely resistant. Apparently, another traveling monk saw him screaming at his last couple of clerks and tried to warn him, saying, "The greater the temper, the less the fortune."
And Chen Baosheng?
Told him to mind his own business, basically shouted him down. He was just too deep in the anger. It was only after the last employees left, his younger son took off. Only when he had absolutely nothing left that he finally broke down and sought help.
He had to be completely empty to see it.
Seems that way. Utterly empty before he could recognize the source of his own misery was, well, him.
So that rock-bottom moment is where monk Zhi Jing steps in with the path to recovery. And it wasn't just about, like, donating money or something.
No, it was internal. The monk emphasized that the hardest thing to cultivate in life is your mind nature. That's where the real work is. So he gave him a blueprint for rebuilding that spiritual capital. And it started with something called the perfection of patience. Renru Boluomi.
The perfection of patience sounds difficult, especially for someone with a temper like his.
Oh, incredibly difficult. But it's about endurance, self-control, especially when things are tough.
So how does that work in practice? Is it just like gritting your teeth and suppressing the anger?
It's actually more profound than that. The sources define it as learning to control your emotions, yes, but crucially, not being roused to anger by external things, by 因为动怒.
So it acknowledges the triggers will always be there.
Exactly. The world will keep throwing things at you, but your reaction, that's yours to control. For Chen Baosheng, the practical technique was about creating a pause, a deliberate delay.
Instead of instant reaction, take a beat.
Precisely. Whenever he felt that anger rising, that heat, he was taught to stop, take a deep breath, and silently repeat this mantra. Patience for a moment, and the wind and waves are calm. Take a step back, and the sea is vast and the sky is wide.
That's the one. That simple act creates space. It stops you from immediately spending that spiritual energy in a rage.
That pause, that step back, it lets you choose peace instead of, well, expensive anger. And apparently, this worked for him, like really worked.
A total turnaround. The sources say he sincerely apologized to his family, his former staff. He changed his behavior. And as his inner state shifted, the outer world responded.
How so?
His wife's health improved. His sons actually came back home. Old staff, even old customers, started returning. His business eventually became even more successful than before, built on respect this time, not fear. He wasn't just stopping the train. He started actively rebuilding his Fu Bao. Okay, that story sets up the practical advice perfectly. Because monk Zhi Jing didn't just tell this story. He gave the narrator, that stressed executive, specific steps for today, a modern application.
Yes, a 7-step system for cultivating the mind, Xu Yang and actively boosting your Fu Bao.
Right. So for anyone listening who feels like they might be in that self-sabotage cycle with anger, what's step 1? Where do you start rebuilding?
It begins with observation and empathy. Simple, but not easy, the monk told him. Practice self-reflection. When you feel anger rising, ask yourself, is this really worth the cost? Is this worth my Fu Bao?
And the empathy part.
That's the key tool. Perspective taking, Huan Wei Si Gao. Try to genuinely understand where the other person is coming from. What might be motivating their actions? Often, when you do that, the anger just kind of dissolves. The need to attack fades.
Okay. Observe, empathize. What's next? The monk talked about cultivating compassion. Shi Bao Zi. That sounds big, especially in a competitive workplace, maybe.
It is big, but you start small. The monk mentioned 2 aspects. First, unconditional love wu yuan dachi, loving without expecting something back. Hard, right?
Yeah.
Second, viewing other suffering as your own tong ti da bei, trying to feel what they feel. If you genuinely connect with someone else's distress, the desire to inflict more pain it doesn't make sense anymore. You protect what you feel connected to. It short-circuits the anger response.
That connection makes the next step. Practice forgiveness, Quan Shu, seem even more important. And the monks stress forgiving others and yourself. Why is forgiving yourself part of saving your Fu Bao?
Because holding on to resentment, whether it's towards someone else or yourself for a mistake, it's like a constant leak. A slow, steady drain on your energy, your peace, your Fu Bao. That yuan qi, the resentment, stays active inside you.
So forgiveness plugs the leak.
Exactly. The act of truly forgiving, letting go, including forgiving your own past actions, it stops that continuous energy drain. It's a huge release.
Okay, so observe, empathize, be compassionate, forgive. That stops the bleeding. What about actually building Fu Bao back up? The next steps were maintain right, mindfulness, Zhengnian,
Yeah.
and cultivate gratitude, Ganen Zixing.
Right. These are more like protective and building practices. Mindfulness, just being fully present here and now, stops you from wasting energy on worrying about the past or stressing about the future.
Which is often where anger comes from, right? Things not meeting expectations.
A huge part of it. Those mental loops fuel anger. Mindfulness breaks the cycle. And gratitude. Well, gratitude is powerful.
How does just being thankful help?
The monk explained that gratitude actively shuts down the impulse to complain. Complaining is focusing on lack, on what's wrong. That breeds frustration. Gratitude flips it. You focus on abundance, on what you do have. It naturally conserves your inner peace and makes you less easily knocked off balance by small stuff.
Makes sense. Less likely to sweat the small stuff if you're focused on the good. Okay, 2 more steps. These seem focused on resilience, develop stability, Ding Li, and accept imperfection.
Yeah, stability, Ding Li, is about inner strength, focus. Meditation helps, focusing on the breath. But the monk also suggested something very practical. Dedicated immersion.
Naming.
Just be fully present in whatever you're doing. When you eat, just eat. When you work, just work. Don't multitask your mind. This focused presence builds internal stability, so when challenges hit, you don't immediately get thrown into chaos and anger.
Like building an inner shock absorber.
Good way to put it. And the final step, accept imperfection, is maybe the hardest, especially for high achievers.
Definitely. We like things to go right.
But anger often flares up in that gap between our expectations and reality. Accepting that life is inherently uncertain, that things won't always be perfect or go our way, it removes a primary fuel source for frustration and rage.
That's a powerful list. Observe, empathize, compassion, forgive, mindfulness, gratitude, stability, accept imperfection. But it raises a big question. What about conflict? You can't just let people walk all over you, right? Does this mean being passive?
Great question. The narrator asks the same thing. And no, it's not about being passive. This is where the monk introduced the idea of the middle path Zhongdao, addressing injustice. Speaking up, that's often necessary, but you have to do it with wisdom, not rage.
Okay, so how do you do that without draining your fubao?
The monk gave 4 key principles for handling disagreements constructively. First, and this is non-negotiable, emotional stability. Check yourself first. Are you calm?
Right. Don't talk when you're seeing red.
Exactly. If you try to solve a problem while angry, you're almost guaranteed to make it worse, damage the relationship, and yes, spend that valuable fubao for nothing.
Okay, stay calm. Principle 2.
Be factual. Stick to the issue, Jushu Lin Shi. Talk about the specific action or problem, not the person's character. Avoid insults, avoid blame. Focus on the what, not the who. This stops you from creating that toxic resentment in the other person.
Makes sense. Third.
Offer solutions. Don't just complain, which is another energy drain. Come with constructive suggestions. Turn it from blame into problem solving. It shifts the whole dynamic.
Complaint drains, solutions built. Got it.
Yeah.
And last one.
A dose of reality. Know when to let go. Sometimes you have to accept that you can't change a situation or a person. Fighting endlessly just keeps draining your energy. Letting go, even if it feels unfair, sometimes preserves your peace, preserves your fubao. Don't let anger linger long term.
Wow. Okay. So this whole deep dive, it really comes together. The narrator, the executive who started this whole journey, he actually applied these things.
He did. Apologized to his wife, his staff, practiced the mantra, the mindfulness, and the sources say he saw real results fast. Team morale shot up, projects that were stuck suddenly succeeded.
So controlling your temper isn't suppression.
Yeah.
It's actually self-preservation.
Exactly. Self-preservation of your fubao, your peace. And it's also an act of compassion, really, for yourself and others.
It really reframes strength, doesn't it? The source material ends with this thought. The true strong person is not the one who can get angry and harm others, but the one who can control their own emotions and maintain inner peace.
That's the ultimate mastery, isn't it?
It really is. So, thinking about all this, if temper is actively costing you, costing your fubao, your success, your relationships, the question we leave you with is, what specific part of your own inner peace are you willing to keep sacrificing today, just by letting anger take control? Something to think about next time you feel that heat rising.